Welcome to this gameplay and review of the M4 Sherman United States Tier 5 medium tank. And these things are a really good tank. It's a medium tank, but it acts more like a heavy tank in a way that moves fast. So it's a really good thing. Here on Canals, we're heading off to the left, and it's one of my favourite spots, but we'll see how we go. On canals, you actually open right up here. If you're in the centre, you've got so many people who can take cover on the side flanks, and you can be attacked from all angles. But I've been a bit lucky here. The enemy's gone to the centre, and I've gone up the left here, and I've found this little gap between the building and the mountain, and able to put through a really accurate shot. What I like about this this M4 is it's got a really good gun. Its rate of fire is fantastic. Its dispersion is great too, which means you don't often get random shots. I mean, yeah, you still miss occasionally, but I'm sticking through a very tiny gap here and leaving myself not exposed too greatly. And you can see I just pick off a few tanks here. I'm able to just put damage and just pull back, wait for myself to reload, and then actually come back in and hit them again. And I just keep hitting them. And they're distracted by other guys because they see that I've disappeared. That's the other good thing when you're pulling back like that. Your tank goes invisible after a while. So again, you're in that situation where you can just sneak out, pop a few shots in. The great aspect of this tank's armor is it's got quite a good profile. So you can see it's a stumpy tank. It's like a little, it's a tall tank. You can't hide the thing too easy, but you can actually take a few good hits, and from a very capable tank, the KV1, very capable tank, took a couple of hits there. And even in this sort of brawling situation here, I've got a Leopard. Now, Leopard should be able to run rings around me. Absolutely run rings around me. I'm not a fast tank. Does okay, but it's not, overly maneuverable. I put a shot in there on the fly. I thought I might have got him, but I didn't. But he's got nearly full, all his hit points there. He's got full power there type of thing. And I've got, taken a couple of good hits. But I'm still able to maneuver myself around these objects and sit with my gun over the top. You can see I can put shots in there. He's only really got my turret and a little bit of my front there to aim at. It's not enough to be able to put good damage in me. He really needs to hit me on the sides or on the back. And that's where this tank is a little bit vulnerable. You can side scrape a little bit. But right now, all I'm trying to do is just put damage on him and keep that out. So one of my tricks is reverse and try and angle the front of the tank so I'm not giving him the full face of the front and I'm not giving him the full side. And again, finished him off. Got a top gun on this particular match, and also plenty of credits, which is great. Yeah, got a reward there too, which is cool. But what I really love about the tank is its maneuverability. You can actually get from place to place so easy with it, and it really does perform the job. And I think a lot of people underestimate the M4. They think, I think it's a bit of a derp tank. It's big, it's sort of cumbersome. And look, when you're grinding through it, getting the equipment on board and stuff like that, it can be a little slow. And some of the guns, the options there aren't that great. You've got massive damage, but the penetration's not good. So that's with a 105mm gun. What I'm running on this one at the moment is the 76mm gun, and it doesn't have as much damage, but its rate of fire is fantastic. It's 7.45 rounds a minute, and your hit points, it's got enough armor of 700 in tier 5 to survive most battles. Now in this game here, I actually do die. I get taken out, but not before I do enough damage for our team to win. And it's one of those things. What you've got to do in a tank like this is just keep chipping away. It's not a tank destroyer where you're going to come in and just one shot somebody. It's a chip away tank is what I call them. You just chip away at your enemy and keep doing damage. And what a lot of people do is they just try and do damage to every tank. I tend to try and look for the tanks who have got, the least amount of hit points remaining. So I can sort of focus on the ones who I can dispatch. Because the thing I figured out with this game is the person with the least tanks loses on their team. So what that means is I'm trying to always help the team reduce the number of tanks that we're versing. If you can focus fire and take out one tank at a time, and you do that, you will actually reduce their numbers of cannons that firing back at you. Uh, where people go wrong in this game is they'll shoot one tank and then they'll go over and shoot another tank, and they'll do a little bit of damage here and a little bit of damage there, but you've still got 7 cannons aimed at you and able to do damage. And you can see here that was a priority. I wanted to take that Anko out and get rid of a tank off the field. They've done the same. They've reduced the numbers, so it's still even. But one thing I did want to avoid there was that KV2, because I know that those guys can just one-shot you in an M4 and game over. And he actually gets me later in this match. But not before I do enough damage to actually help the team get through and win this match. So I haven't put a shot in on the KV2. I was a little bit nervous, I must admit, because I thought he if he had one up the tube and he was focused, I was in trouble. But didn't, and I was lucky. But you just keep looking for opportunities. You see these guys have got a little bit of damage already, a bit like myself. I'm waiting for the opportunity. It's important not to waste bullets like that. I thought he was going to keep moving and he didn't. And, occasionally you're going to miss out, but you just got to keep chipping away. At the moment, this game's in the balance. It could have gone either way. And you can see how, these Japanese tanks are very effective. They can do plenty of damage, and they can do a lot of damage to your overall gameplay, because they're quite a tough tank, and at the same token they've got good damage ability. Been having a few issues after update 2.9. This is the older map, but just recently I've had some freezing happening on the Mac OS, and it's been rather strange. I don't know. I hope they fix it, because it's really quite frustrating. You're in a good game like this, and occasionally the thing just starts freezing on you, like you've got massive lag. But again, have a look what I'm doing here. This guy on my team unfortunately stuck his nose out too far, and that's what the KV-1S was focusing his fire on. Again, a very capable tank, heavy tank. KV-1S can do some major damage if he wants to, but he's got a very slow rate of fire. And I've just tracked him there. I've stopped him moving around. But those guys can end my day real easy, especially since I've got, not a lot of hit points left, and I'm still meddling with this KV2. The KV2, his problem is he's going to take a while to focus. So he could shoot and just could hit the dirt right in front of him. I've seen that happen a number of times. So I've seen another opportunity down here. Put a shot into a lone T-34. And again, that's a tank. That's a game-winning tank right there, the T-34. Go and see one of my other videos on how to play that tank. It is a very capable Tier 5 tank when driven correctly. In this case, he just sort of sat there and waited for everyone to shoot him, which was not a real good idea. But I'm just taking a shot, pulling back, reloading, popping it out again. I know these guys have got a slow aim time. The KV-1 got a shot into me there, and I'm able to finish him off right now, which is cool. So that's 3 tanks we've taken out, and there's just me and the M6 left, and he does a really good job here at mopping up. I actually get completely derped here. I should have moved. I actually writing something here, move. Want the other bloke to come and help me. And here I should have moved myself. I should have taken myself into a different spot, because not unbeknownst to me, the KV2's moved up on me here, and I've tunneled thinking he's there, and he's popped out on the side and just boom. That was a lucky shot from a KV2. That could have gone anywhere, but when you're close enough in that tank, it can actually take you out. And yeah, one of the other blokes got, oh my god. He knows the extreme ability of this tank, and the M6 here is... he's got full hit points though, and he is a tough bugger. He's going to take a couple of shots from the KV2. So, but so long as he can sort of front up to him, if he goes side on, he's in a bit of trouble. But trying to help the guys out, let them know where they are. And the reality is, this game's about to end in our favour. But going back to this tank, I absolutely love the gameplay in it. It's really fun. It's a bit like playing a medium, but you actually got a little bit more armour. Unfortunately, it's a bit bulky. It is a bit big and bulky. I'll switch to this guy's view now so you can have a look. He cops a shot here with the KB2, but he's got full hit points. He's done a great job. He's kept himself intact to finish us off and help us win the game. And it's one of those things where you've got to have good teammates around you, and you've got to have hit points in reserve at the end. Only got one award for the effort, but it's not always about the awards. It's about how you end up. So thanks for listening, and catch you on the flip side. Don't forget to subscribe.